Hello, this is Lacquerography, and this is my wish list for March 2024's Hella Handmade Creations. I have 15 items on my wish list right now, although it's not really 15, it's actually kind of 14, but I've doubled up on one. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. It's pretty early on. So let's just dive right in and take a look at the 14 or 15 items that I have on my preliminary wish list. The first item up is by 1422 Designs, and this polish is called Take These Broken Wings and Learn to Fly. And this one is a capped pre-order, and what that means is there's only, in this case, 100 of these items that are available before this polish is considered sold out. So that's actually quite a small cap to have only 100 bottles of these available. 1422 Designs continues their Beatles Take Two series with Take These Broken Wings and Learn to Fly. Take These Broken Wings and Learn to Fly is a dusty blue denim base with a strong violet, pink, orange, yellow, green, teal, large particle shimmer. So this one, I'll tell you right now, is most likely going to be added to my shopping cart when the shop opens on March 14th. This one for me is a highly sentimental pick, and not only that, I think that this polish is absolutely beautiful. This polish name comes from lyrics from a family favorite Beatles song, and so right there, this one, I take a look at the polish name and right away, my heart is full. Same thing with taking a look at the polish as well. I think the color is absolutely beautiful. To go on a little bit about the color that I'm seeing in front of me here, I view this one actually, for me, as a 4-season polish. It's snowing outside my window right now as I am filming this. I see this as a wintry type of polish, some of those icy colors with that shimmer. I also see this one as a spring or summer polish. The idea of kind of blue skies or blue water with the sun gleaming off of it. I can also see this one as a fall polish for my life as well. This polish is described as a dusty denim blue for its base. And for me, denim colors are always something that I'm drawn to, especially in early fall. That idea of back to school and denim, I love that kind of colorway in the fall. So for those reasons, this being a 4-season polish for me, the polish is gorgeous. And the fact that this one has a very sentimental pull for me, this one is most likely going to be added to my shopping cart. So this one is by 1422 Designs. Take These Broken Wings and Learn to Fly. This next item up is my only non-polish item. This one is by Apapila. I hope I'm saying that right. And this one is their stamping plate called Music. This one is also a capped item. There are only 200 of these plates being made available. So this one again is a little bit of a sentimental pick for me. I actually have been telling myself that I'm not going to be purchasing any more stamping plates because I've just been so busy. I haven't been using the ones that I have. But when I see stamping plates like this one that have kind of a sentimental pull for me, I can't help but want to purchase this, especially when in a case like this, the offering is through Hella Handmade Creations. This is just a limited edition offering as far as I know. I may not see this again. The reason why this one is so intriguing to me is music is such a huge part of my life. It always has been for all my life. Not only am I like most people where I love listening to music in all parts of my day, all different genres of music, but also in my career, I am an elementary teacher. And although I'm not teaching it right now, 7 years of my career so far have been spent as a music teacher, as an arts teacher. This is quite a special one for me. Some of the images that are standouts for me here are some of these sort of retro images here when you're taking a look at the cassette tape down here, the album, the CD. Those ones are all they caught my eye right away. Also, I've been noticing that there are some really versatile images as well. They have musical leanings, of course, these ones right here, but there is a certain abstraction to them. They could be used for many different purposes throughout the year. Music notes are always welcome here, but also these lightning bolts too. I can see myself using these not just for music type stamping. Anyway, I think there's a lot of neat stuff. And actually right here, this one really stood out to me too. I thought it was an interesting take on possibly a holiday wreath if I stamp it in a certain way. There's a lot of images on this plate that are very intriguing to me. There's even more than just those. The dancer here as well. Dance is also a big part of my life. This one is very tempting, even though I'm not supposed to be purchasing more stamping plates until I make better use of the ones I have. Life is so busy, and unfortunately it's gotten in the way of some nail art attempts. But this is beautiful nonetheless. So this one is by Apapila. It's their stamping plate called Music. This next one up is by Atomic Polish, Wingspan. For this listing, Atomic Polish continues their board game theme, and this one is inspired by the game Wingspan. Wingspan has a pale blue holographic base with purple to aqua shifting aurora pigment. So for me, this one does not have sort of a sentimental pull, but this polish is just gorgeous. Atomic Polish is one of those brands that I've been aware of for quite a while, but it's really only just recently, in the last 4 to 6 months, that I've really been having just a wonderful experience with this brand. I think it was about 4 months ago, I bought a polish that I had to wear right away, and I was so impressed by the brilliance of the color, the uniqueness of the polish, and just the overall quality. It was such a standout. And so really since then, I've been targeting this brand quite a lot. Atomic Polish, I'm a Canadian, and Atomic Polish is not really the easiest one for me to come by. To my knowledge, there aren't any stockists that are local to me that carry this brand. If I purchase directly from Atomic Polish, it is a little pricier because it has to be an international shipping kind of purchase. So I have been scoping out Atomic Polish, especially over the last 4 months or so, on any of these collaboration website opportunities. This polish is stunningly beautiful. I mean, I can see right here from this photograph, this swatch photo, that this is really something special. And I could see myself wearing it quite a bit in spring and summer. The shimmer really looks out of this world. So this one is by Atomic Polish, Wingspan. So this next polish up is actually wishlisted in my wish list twice. So when it says 15, it's actually should really be only 14. I'll get into all that in a moment. So this one is by Baroness X, and this is their single listing, and the polish is Matcha. This one is also a capped offering, but unfortunately at this point, they haven't announced how many bottles will be made available. So I will have to watch out for that. If the cap is small for this one, I will have to consider buying right away when the shop opens on March the 14th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time, which is my time zone. So this one for me is another sentimental pick, but this one as well has a polish that I just can't get out of my mind. So this one I know will be in my shopping cart on March 14th. The description that goes along with this polish is that Baroness X continues their coffee and tea theme with a polish inspired by Japanese tea. Matcha is a medium gray polish with green to blue shimmer. So I haven't been able to get this polish out of my mind, both because it is absolutely gorgeous, but also because matcha is my mom's favorite drink. And so for both of these reasons, this one has a special place in my heart, and I will be purchasing this one. The big question is, though, am I going to be purchasing matcha alone through this listing, or am I going to take a look at the other listing, which is actually a duo offering? So this next listing, which is also by Baroness X, this is that duo offering, which is matcha paired with tencha. This is also a capped pre-order for this duo. Again, the cap has not been announced, so I will have to keep an eye out for that. So in this duo, you'd be getting matcha, but you'd also be getting tencha. Tencha is a clear-based polish with light green reflective glitter, hollow, and green iridescent flakes. It can be worn as a topper or built up on its own. Now I know already that I'm going to be picking up matcha, but when I saw this duo, I really thought that the combination looked like something special. I love reflective glitter. I just find that it has a sparkle and twinkle like no other. I really don't take advantage of its flash reactive properties at all. That twinkle I find is highly evident in most indoor, outdoor, brilliant sun, low light. I find that twinkle is always there, and I quite love the effect. So for me, the fact that this topper would add that extra twinkle to this polish that is already so spectacularly beautiful, I can't get it out of my mind. This duo actually is quite a contender. Now, an interesting point too is to buy matcha or tencha by themselves. Each polish is $13 each. So if I bought each separately, it would be $26 total. If you purchase the duo, you do get a small price break here of $1 off. So the duo itself is $25. So this is a really interesting one here. I have to make up my mind whether I'm going to go with matcha alone or matcha along with tencha to make that gorgeous, sparkly duo. I just think this is something really special. So this is by Baroness X. This one is the duo listing of matcha and tencha. This next one up is by BCB Lacquers, Trickster Fox. This one is also a capped item. There are only 200 of these ones available. A lot of these caps this month are really quite small, so I will have to think quite quickly and make my purchase as close as I can to shop opening on March the 14th at 12:01 a.m. my time. BCB Lacquers continues their mythological creature series with a polish inspired by the kitsune. Trickster Fox is an orange hollow base and orange gold pink shifting shimmer. When I saw this polish, I just thought it was really beautiful. For me, it's a very safe color and a different kind of a take on a neutral. I think that I could get away with wearing this polish for any kind of a work event or whatever without having to worry about it not appearing professional. It's not that far off from kind of a neutral looking polish, but there is just so much interest to this one. The fact that it's got this incredible shimmer as well as having that hollow base, I think it's something that's at first quite safe, but it's elevated to something that only an indie polish can really execute. So I think this one is really very beautiful. This is also a series I've been following too by BCB Lacquers, and it would be really nice to add this one to my collection. Makers do sign on to Hella Handmade Creations for a multi-month period where month upon month they offer polishes on a theme of the maker's own choosing for a set number of months. Some of these mini collections that end up being produced are quite small, and others can go on for a long time. This one is a theme that I've been following by BCB Lacquers, and I think this one would be a lovely addition to my collection. So this one is by BCB Lacquers, Trickster Fox. This next one up is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, and this one is called A Human Life is a Beautiful Thing. Bee's Knees Lacquer continues their Belladonna theme with A Human Life is a Beautiful Thing. A Human Life is a Beautiful Thing is a soft gray base with a glowy red to gold shimmer. So this one, the moment I saw it, I just thought that, again, a very versatile polish that I could wear for pretty much any season, any occasion, but I was really taken by the beautiful look of these swatch photos. The quality of this polish looks absolutely outstanding. Even though it's not really the right color to describe it as this, to me, the quality of this finish has a very sea glass type look to it, even though I tend to associate sea glass with something that's a little bit more white to gray or like bluish green. But there's just something about this sort of hazy quality to it that does remind me of sea glass, and also this flawless finish. I know that this is a polish that I would make great use of 4 seasons a year and across any occasion. I just think this is a really wonderful addition to any collection. So this one is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, A Human Life is a Beautiful Thing. This next one up is by Cuticula, and it's called Night Thorns. Cuticula continues their Dreamlight Valley series with Night Thorns. Night Thorns has a plum base with a green-purple multichrome shimmer, green-blue-purple shifting shimmer, and silver holographic flakes. Now this one, unlike the last few that we were looking at, this one is not one that I would consider a safe, work-appropriate polish. Now for me, I have to admit, being a teacher, I have a pretty creative job, so there aren't really any restrictions in that sense about what you can wear in terms of nail polish and all the rest of it. But just sometimes, like you're in parent interviews or you've got certain meetings or whatever, sometimes I feel that kind of pull or pressure, like undefined pressure, I guess, to wear something a little bit more professional and muted. So this polish is not one of those. I can't stop thinking about this one either. And the more I see swatch photos of it and swatch videos of it as well, the more I want to purchase this one. This deep base, this plum base, is such a beautiful color in itself. But then with all that shimmer and the hollow flakes, it just comes alive on the nails. I find this one such a dynamic polish. And anytime I've seen it in any sort of a swatch photo, whether it's here on the website, also on Instagram, I find that it looks so dynamic and beautiful on any skin tone. I've been loving seeing it in video swatches as well on YouTube. Just the way it plays with the light, there is so much going on. There is such depth of color. As the only way I can really describe it is just a stunningly vampy, dynamic polish, like ever-changing. It really is unlike anything I have in my collection. This one is one that I want to own just purely because I find it spectacular. This one is by Cuticula, Night Thorns. And speaking of spectacular offerings, here's another one, back to back, two that just took my breath away when I saw them and I can't get them out of my mind. This one is by Garden Path Lacquers, My Pet What? Garden Path Lacquers continues their retro toys theme with a polish inspired by My Pet Monster. My Pet What? Is a teal turquoise jelly base filled with purple holographic microglitters and blue-green aurora shimmer. Now this one also, along with being a showstopper where I can't stop looking at this one also is a little bit of a sentimental pick, I think. So listen, if you know a little bit more about this inspiration, please feel free to add your comments down below. I'd love to know what your recollection of My Pet Monster is. I'm Canadian and I can vividly remember the My Pet Monster cartoon that was on TV. I can't really recall if it was a Saturday morning cartoon, if it was one that was available in my area on a different day of the week, but I can remember watching My Pet Monster as a cartoon with my sister here in Canada. I don't at all, though, recall a toy. That could be like me being a Canadian. I'm not really sure. I don't know why the toy wouldn't have captured my attention. But anyway, I can remember these colors from that Saturday morning or otherwise cartoon, which I know I watched extensively, and I probably watched the entire series actually. I just find that this polish, the color combination, the glow, I'd be so intrigued to see how this one plays with light out in the wild on my actual nails, out in the sunshine. I just think that there's so much interesting stuff going on here. Again, I don't have anything like this in my collection. And there is that nostalgia factor, I think. So again, if you know anything about My Pet Monster, I'd love to know your thoughts on it in the comments. But yeah, this one is another top pick for me. This one is Garden Path Lacquers, My Pet What? This next one is by Moonshine Manny, I'm Too Sexy. This one is another capped item. There are only 200 of these being made available before it's considered sold out. Moonshine Manny continues their one-hit wonder theme with a song from Right Said Fred. I'm Too Sexy is a deep, inky blurple jelly packed with iridescent purple, pink, gold, green flakes and black matte flakes. So this one is another nostalgic pick for me, kind of sentimental as well. It's really recalling all these memories of grade 9 that dates me a little bit when this song was everywhere. It was such a popular song. You couldn't really escape it, and we loved it. We thought it was a great song. So much fun. All the memories that this one evokes, it's really taking me back, and all the memories that it's bringing back are all positive ones of a really great time in my life. This is another polish where I think all these swatch photos are absolutely gorgeous, but I happened to see a swatch video as well. The way these flakes picked up the light, like I just thought the glow off of them was something really spectacular. For all those reasons, that is why this one is on my wish list. The nostalgia, the glow, it's just so much fun. I think there's a lot to be said for some of these sentimental picks sometimes, where the whole experience of purchasing the polish, applying the polish, and just being able to think back on these wonderful times. For me, that's part of this process as well as a polish collector. So Moonshine Manny, I'm Too Sexy. This next one up is by Night Owl Lacquer, Chafing My Honkers. Night Owl Lacquer continues their Bob's Burger theme with Chafing My Honkers. Chafing My Honkers is a peach glowing with iridescent shimmer that shifts violet, pink, peach, gold, and green. So this one's an interesting one for me. Again, there's no sentimental reason why I chose this one. I don't really have a connection with Bob's Burgers. I've only ever watched a couple of episodes, but it's more about the look of this polish for me this time. I think that, again, this is a really beautiful color and versatile. There have been a few of those on my wish list this time. I always love having the opportunity to pick up some really versatile polishes that I can wear all seasons of the year for absolutely any occasion. And this one really sounds like one of those kinds of polishes. For me, buying a versatile polish like this one from an indie makers just have this way of adding incredible interest to their polishes that are really like no other. This is a polish that sounds like it would be stunningly beautiful in person. The fact that it's got this base, which is kind of on me anyway, a reasonably neutral peach base, but the addition of this shimmer that shifts violet, pink, peach, gold, and green, it really does sound like to me like it could be a near full spectrum rainbow of shift. The only one that I'm really noticing it missing from that range is blue. It just sounds like it has the potential to be show-stopping. But yet, it's a 4-season polish that I could easily wear to work. So this one is by Night Owl Lacquer, Chafing My Honkers. This next one up is by Phoenix Indie Polish, and this one is a duo. And the components of this duo are Master of My Sea and You Made Me a Believer. Phoenix Indie Polish continues their theme inspired by the band Imagine Dragons. Master of My Sea has a turquoise Crelly base with blue Aurora shimmer, and You Made Me a Believer has a pink jelly base with iridescent flakies. There are only 150 of these available for the duo, packaged up as a duo. You can also buy these polishes individually. I should mention too, it is listed as being $26, and that more expensive price is indicative of it being 2 polishes within the set. So I think that both components of this are absolutely stunningly beautiful. Actually, it was this turquoise Crelly one right here that caught my eye at first. But then when I saw this topper applied on it, just the magic they both created together, I couldn't even really believe my eyes. I could buy just one of these, but there's just something about these duos sometimes. They are truly matches made in heaven. That is something about Hella Handmade Creations as a shop that I really tend to appreciate. There are often several duos offered. These specially curated sets as duos are just the most magical blends sometimes of base plus topper. This is one of those cases where I could see myself using each of them individually, but together they just create pure magic. So this one is by Phoenix Indie Polish. This is a duo, Master of My Sea and You Made Me a Believer. This next one up was actually one that I sought out immediately when wishlisting opened back on March the 1st. I scrolled right down to Red Eyed Lacquer to see what they were offering, and this one is on my wish list. So this one is by Red Eyed Lacquer, and it's called Vanilla Peach Peach Baby. This one is also a capped item. There are only 200 of these available. Red Eyed Lacquer continues their birth month flowers theme with a polish inspired by the Vanilla Peach Daffodil. Vanilla Peach Peach Baby is a pastel peach Crelly. So the reason why I went directly to this listing as soon as the shop opened for wish listing was because I've been collecting this series, all except one that escaped me because it sold out so quickly, the Aster polish. I was very sad to have missed that one. So hint, hint, Red Eyed Lacquer, I hope that the Aster polish can come back for your encore month. But anyway, back to this polish. This is a polish series that I have been collecting. And this is another example of one of those 4-season work-appropriate polishes that I know I could get a ton of use out of. It's just a lovely, versatile color, and I really like everything about it. And I know that I really enjoy Red Eyed Lacquer's quality. So for all these reasons, this one is on my wish list. I will have to take a look at some of these sort of 4-season work appropriate polishes. I certainly don't need all of them, but the fact that I've been collecting this series makes this one a very high contender. So this one is by Red Eyed Lacquer, Vanilla Peach Peach Baby. This next one up is by Victorian Varnish, Double Refraction. This one is also capped with only 200 of these available. Victorian Varnish continues their Apothecary Peculiarities series with the polish inspired by a wizarding apothecary. Double Refraction is a vintage neutral base with an aqua cyan green line when magnetized and beautiful purple-pink shimmer running throughout. This one is actually an interesting one because this one comes in a 17 milliliter bottle, which is, to my knowledge, one of the biggest bottle sizes for any indie polish maker. I haven't seen a bottle size any larger than that. So if you know of any others, please let me know because value is always a good thing too. This one is only $13 with that much volume, 17 milliliters. So that was something that caught my eye when I was adding this to my wish list. This kind of a look has been one that I've been drawn to a lot in the last couple of months. This idea of a neutral or brown base with a really interesting shimmer, like a contrasting color of some sort. The fact that this one has the aqua cyan green line when magnetized, and then there's also that purple pink aspect to it as well with the shimmer. I mean, it's got a lot going on in this one. Now, the thing that I have to think about a little bit is that it is a magnetic, and I've been so busy in the last couple of months, especially with work, but also with some life things as well. I haven't really been using any of the magnetic polishes or nail art items that I have in my collection at this point. So I do have to think about that a little bit. But the fact that this one is a colorway that I've been highly drawn to lately, plus the fact that the value of this one is so great, and also I think I only own one polish at this point from Victorian Varnish, I would really love to give this polish brand a little bit more attention. So this one is by Victorian Varnish, Double Refraction. This last item on my wish list is by Zombie Claw, and it's called Mitch Rocks. This one is also capped with only 100 available. Zombie Claw continues their theme inspired by the Powerpuff Girls, with a polish inspired by the character Mitchell Mitchelson. Mitch Rocks is a dark chocolate base with blue-green electric shimmer. So it's kind of interesting. This one has a little bit of a similar vibe to that last polish, the Victorian Varnish. This one, the thing that it has going for this one is that it's going to look like this right out of the bottle for me. I don't have to worry about taking care of the magnetic treatment to get the magnetic effect and get all that cool shimmer and the line and all that good stuff. I'll have to really think about this because I love the idea of the fact that it is a dark chocolate base and then it's described as an electric shimmer. It sounds like the contrast here would be really something in person. Clearly a colorway that I'm highly drawn to. The other thing that I'm noticing here is a little bit is the value. This one's 50 cents more expensive than the last offering, which isn't really a big deal at all. But the fact that this one is $13.50 and this is a 13 milliliter bottle for this one. The previous one was $13 for a 17 milliliter bottle. So there was a little bit more value perhaps in the Victorian Varnish, but they are two different products. One's a magnetic, the other one is not. I'll have to weigh all these factors as I'm making my decision, but if I go with one of these ones with a neutral base and this kind of greenish shimmer, I really should only be choosing one of them if any of them make their way to my home. So this one is by Zombie Claw, really beautiful offering, Mitch Rocks. So that's it for my wish list. I have 15 items listed, although it's really only 14 because there's that double listing with Baroness X Matcha. So I have a couple of very strong top picks there with some sentimental picks. Baroness X Matcha, also 1422 designs. And then there's some that are just catching my eye so much that I can't get them out of my mind. Garden Path Lacquers is one of those, as is the Cuticula this month. And then I've got to think about some of those work appropriate offerings. I'd love to add maybe one of those, maybe two of them to my collection. I know I would get a ton of use out of them. And also I am intrigued by one of those ones with a neutral base, those kind of brownish base with the green flash, the Victorian varnish or the zombie claw. Both of them have that same kind of vibe, but one is magnetic and the other one isn't. So I'll have to give those ones a really close look. So many incredible offerings. I really don't fully know what I'm going to do, but I do know I can't buy all 14 or 15 offerings. I should cut it down significantly from that. I have only a little while to think about it too. This shop opens March 14th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it'll close 1 week later on March 21st at 11:59 Hawaiian time. Now for me, that opening time of 12:01 a.m. is pretty important because a number of the items on my wish list have very small availability cap, 100, 150, 200. That's really not that much. And I have lost polishes from my wish list in the past because I didn't make my purchase right away when the shop opened. This month, I am not going to be going with any of the overstock items. I actually avoided looking, so I'm not tempted. I highly recommend that if you're interested, check that out as well. And if you do decide to shop the overstock items, make sure you shop the website as early as you can, because sometimes the overstock items are only very few in number, sometimes 5 items or less. And so they sell out sometimes in minutes or even seconds from when the shop opens. So that's it for my wish list. I'm wondering, are you shopping Hella Handmade Creations this month? If you are, what's on your wish list? What items do you think are going to make it to your shopping cart this month? Please feel free to add all your comments and we can continue on the conversation. If you enjoy this type of wish list video, especially these Hella Handmade Creations videos, please consider giving this video a like. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that this is the kind of content that you're interested in seeing. I'll make sure to produce more of this type of content in the future. Also, if you enjoy nail-related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail-related content as often as I can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.